FIFA World Cup. So, Forces Shone says this game as good as a cup final for the Zambians in wanting to get that positive result against their age-old rivals here in South Africa. We're looking forward to an interesting, if not entertaining, 90 minutes of football at the very least. OJ, to get things started.
Fela jaaka mokatetse wa Afrika Borwa Hugo Broos le na tlhalosetse gore motshameko ga tle go tsa jaaka motshameko wa botsalano jaaka utlwa phala e ka jalo tshimologo ya motshameko Bafana kgathanong jalo le Chipolopolo sale ba simolotse go thulana ngwaga wa ketengwe kgolaro bongwe fa Afrika Borwa mo ngwageng tsa bosomaro bongwe fa Afrika Borwa ene amogelwa semmuso mo metshamekong ya boditšhabatšhaba ka ngwaga wa 1992 ba ba itumela seo balatedi ba batlileng ka kwano go sena tsebese tshamekela jalo mo tseleng ya ga Mbegetseli Mpokazi lebeletse maemo a tlhaga o kgona go lemoga gore lebala ga le lentle jalo mmala wa lone solofetse go bona lebala le le tala fela wa itse gore lebala le le dirisetswa jalo le metshameko ya rugby ke legae la Chipa United maybe le gape ke legae la setlhopha sa the Southern Kings e le setlhopha sa motshameko wa rugby a re bone jalo Sailorman Khuliso Morao mongwe ba tshameka morago ba ba diphatsa e seng fela mo Afrika Borwa mme mo kontinenteng ngwe ya di right back tse di kotsi tse di tshamekang kgwele ya dinao e tswileng diatla le ka bona le la Khuliso Morao na kgopetsana jalo a re bone kgwele ba e romela ka kwana thoko Khuliso ba romela mo go la teni Siphombole kwa go demo ga dikota the master chef aba beile kwa go demo ga dikota Afrika Borwa tlhaselo fela mo tshimologong ya motshameko bona ka motshameko iketlileng master chef o na re wetsa we ba mo letloenga fela ba saine pa kgweleo aba rulela Siphombole Arbone Senegal ba go sola le tene naga ya Zambia sekut mo Senegal ya ba ka jalo gore a ine sekut go kgideo ya go tloswa ka kwana bophirima jole bala la Nelson Mandela Bay Junior Sakala ke na go tlosa kgweleo Junior Sakala se ga khamalele le sefane seo ka se ga khamalele kgwele tana kotsi fela a thula ka mabole kwa morago ga go pola monna yo katisten thata kwa province ya Limpopo Jacob Sakala romela kgwele telele fela be go rotha jalo mo tseleng ya Ronald Williams sengwe se motsereganya se kaileng a kete bana ba kaile gore Afrika Borwa le ka fa botsetseng ka jalo kgwele ya go tloswa kwa morago ke naga ya Zambia Benson Sakala ke na tlhomileng kgweleo tota tlhomile jalo ke Miguel Chaiwa o e tshamekela ka kwana thoko ba mo tseleng ya ga Chisala wa lebela Chisala o na le jalo le ka wana la o sena police ba ba kaile gore le ntshitswe ke lona Zambia Jobe le ba mo tseleng ya ga o swi ka tsena tsebese o e tshamekela jalo mo tseleng ya ga Mbegetseli Mpokazi re solofetse gore ka go kana diphetogo mo setlhopheng sa ga Hugo Broos fela o kgona go lemoga gore jaaka tlhalositse gore motshameko ga o tse jaaka motshameko wa botsalano tlisitse batshameki ba gagwe botlhe ba motho a ka reng ka gale ba simolola mo naaneng la setlhopha sa Bafana Mbegetseli banna ba le babedi ba ba tswang kwa provinseng ya KwaZulu Natal go tsena disebese ga mmogo le Mbeketseli Mphokazi Khuliso Modau Mrembula Teboho Mokwena ba leka go itlwaetsa kgwele ba leka go ka itlwaetsa kgwele setlhopha sa Afrika Borwa jaaka bona sephephelo tshamekela jalo mo go Sailor Man ha re bona Afrika Borwa go swina police fela ba khona go bua ka ka morago chaiwa go tshamekela mo go Junior wa lebela Junior Sakala ba mo tsela kgwele khona go tsengela o gape mo tsereganyana mo tshameka go phepha o tswele pele khona go lemoga mo kgwa tshameka ditlhopha tse pedi tse gore ke batshameki ba ba ratang go tshwara kgwele go neeletsana kgwele fa o lebeletse tshameko go fitlhela ga jana mo metsotsong e le metlhano ya motshameko a re bone Afrika Borwa maemo a tla nna kotsi fela mo na o tsenya maoto a le mabedi mo tsereganyana le gaufi wa ba betsa wa go ntsha karata mo tsereganyeng karata e sorolwana e tswile le ka wana la Chungo Kapaso ke ena mogelang karata fela ka fa tlase ga metsotso e le lesome mo motsotsong wa borataro bona ba tle ba reka sekgowa career ending tackle ke nngwe ya tlhaselo tse di ka fetsang bokamoso jwa motshameki Siphombule fela go lebega tla emelela jaaka lesole the master chef go bona la tla emelela jaaka lesole the master chef ba go dira le bota kwa morago naga ya Zambia naga ikile nyantsha dinaledi fa o bua ka naledi ya ka kwa naga ya Zambia ke mangotla le balanjalo Khalusha Biala monna yo nile motshameki ya nna mo kapteini ya nna mo katisi ya ba ya nna mo presidente wa federation ya kgwele dinaga kwa Zambia monna wa Khalusha Biala yo nile lesego mo tshogakano nya sefofane se sa latola matshelo a batshameki ba naga ya Zambia le go itlhela ga jana ga se ba le balentlha yo ka kwa Zambia kgwele tlhomelo jalo ke le ka bona la ka kwa botlhaba jo bo tseneletseng jwa Bethlehem Tebza Mrembula e tlhomelo jalo ke Teboho Mokwena kgwele ba dirile le bota Zambia Afrika Borwa ba rometse jalo tlhaselo ga ba tla kgona go thuba le bota leo Afrika Borwa Teboho Mokwena ga itsa fa le gone ka tlhamalalo fa ratile fela Nzabatha wa moitsa ba kitla a iatela kwa morago testa aba iatela testa Nzabatha ngwaga di le 35 motsara dino wa setlhopha sa Sekhukhune fela o kgona go lemoga kgwele gore ga ise regiwang ke Teboho Mokwena ne sena matla a makalo kgwele ya go tloswa kwa morago kgwele Junior Sakala kopeditse jalo Sailor Khuliso Modau lebeletse kwa bankeng ya Afrika Borwa tsholofela ke gore tla bana ba le bantsi ba tsena mo motshamekong fela jaaka le tlhakoreng la Zambia a re bone Samukelo Kabini fela kgwele betsola kwa ntle ya go akgiwa jalo ke setlhopha sa e ntshitswe jalo ke monna yo wa Samukelo Kabini tshamekiwa mola wa setlhopha sa TS Galaxy kgwele ya go tloswa ya akgiwa jalo ke Gift Mpande go dira tiro kwa setlhopheng sa Zesco United monna yo wa Mpande kgwele ya go tloswa ya akgiwa ke Mbeketseli we tshamekela ba Ronald Williams ba go isemolla kwa morago Afrika Borwa Teboho Mokwena wa lebela Mrembula tshamekela jalo mo tseleng ya the tough guy Mbeketseli Mphokazi Teboho Mokwena Sailor Mremula aba romela kgelete le kwa phele bona Afrika bona mamatla nkotsi Tshepa Moremi bona Tshepang fela ba motima se a lolo Tshepang setsana le dino di le robedi go fitlela ga jana Tshepa Moremi go stopensala no Pirates Memo Katese o tlhalosetse Hugo Bruce gore batla go mo fa tšhono gore a tla bontshe sa dirilweng ka tsone le ka bona le la Tshepa Moremi ka bona la ka kwa Val tshameko wa malo wa setlhopha sa Mazulu Mothoetso re tsamaile sebaka sa metsotso e le lesome go fitlhela ga jana mme ga ise go nne sepe se sekalo ga ise re bone nno mo motshamekong e ntse le noto Bafana e le noto Chipolopolo.
Well, it very much is a battle between Southern African nations with an eye on the upcoming Africa Cup of Nations. Crossing swords at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. As this international friendly serves upwards, well, should be quality. And amongst the best in quality in Southern Africa, in the away of South Africa and Zambia, have crossed swords on a good number of occasions. In the away of the COSAFA Cup, Zambia, of course, has enjoyed the last few years in the encounters, or the last few encounters, maybe I should say, against the South Africans. South Africa looking to get back to winning ways for the first time since 2018 against the Zambians. On this near side, of course, is Sagala has done well to keep it moving at 1 point, surrounded by 3. Takes the fourth out the equation. Looks to do him again, and in the end, a good challenge as the Zambians press on here. Chisala, byline, good ball into that near post. Nobody really attacking the near post of the 4 players that were in there from a Zambian point of view. Now, good ball out from the South Africans. Moremi with a movement to his left and right. Faster, strong, and keeping and moving at space for Apollos. Well, they quickly ascended upon him. Looked as though he had lost it for just a moment, but here is Moremi. At the best moment so far of this match, Moremi with his movement off the ball, which is usually of a very high standard and outstanding. So how easily someone with the talent in the eye of Mugwena can pick out those runs. Bule taking a little too long then before deciding what to do with it. Fashion Sagala, Junior. Sagala again here, looking for the return, looking to combine with Patson Daga, and strength was a need in the battle between the 2 men of the ball, then Daga as well as Mogazi. To end at the end, the decision going the way of the South Africans. Tell you what, the Zambians will be up for this particular battle and keeping the rivalry alive between the 2 sides. So that battle between the 2 men in question, there's Mogazi operating alongside his club teammate in Sibisi. Both of them have shared the captain's armband in recent times out at Orlando Pirates. Sibisi's season, of course, starting off with an injury layoff. Seen him in recent weeks, so over the last couple of months, coming back into the action here. He'll be happy for a start under Hugo Bruce. Without the challenge. Very quick to get numbers behind the ball here. The likes of Chaiwa and Musonda doing their bit defensively, and then they'll always look to Fashion Sagala as the outlet on this near side. Foster. Outnumbered. Chaiwa. Interesting when you look at the Zambian situation in the qualifiers. They really were in a tough qualifying group. They were able to manipulate and ensure they're amongst the best on the continent to battle it out at the upcoming Africa Cup of Nations. South Africa equally as impressive in their qualification. Now, Kabini, good movements. Very well watched defensively then from a Zambian point of view. So, George is joining us here. 14 minutes in, you've got 2 sides that are looking to get at each other. It's interesting for the time being. There's so much quality on the field, of course. The likes of Mpande and Chisala. Once we'll watch with a keen eye here out in the wide areas and trying to keep Apollos and Moremi quiet, of course, in the wide areas. Creatively, there should be quite a battle in the middle of the park for the likes of Bule, as well as Mugwena, who's the tallest supporting them. Battling against Chaiwa and Musonda in the middle of the park should make for, I'd say, a battle between the 2 sets of midfielders. There's Bule. Was looking for the return then, but the foul was called for the challenge on Sitola, given Galusa. So even the attack-minded players such as Galusa will all be looking to get back and keep the shape that you see now from a Zambian point of view, which is proving a bit tough to break down then. So here they are with the most popular outlet so far this afternoon. Sagala. Well, got the one target inside the box, so would have needed something extremely special to find the one target. Not his best moment so far, but he's had a good start to this game. Certainly livened things up here on this near side, so should make for a rather entertaining battle between he and Mutau. Mutau himself, a solid and trustworthy defender, amongst the best on the continent. Loves to get forward as well. Keep a keen eye on that situation to see whether Sagala will keep Mutau concentrating more on the defensive side of his game. Although he is one who does love to get forward and can really push up and down to cover his defensive responsibilities quite impressively. The Mamelodi Sundowns man currently on the ball. Logas. Landing, keeping it moving on that far side. Again, the Zambia is very quick in getting numbers back behind the ball here. South Africa keep it moving. Mwena. Apollos dropping into a central position to get involved here. Mwena looking for options. Palms out open as if to say, where is everybody? Actually done between here and Apollos. Mwena lining it up. He was invited to shoot. You remember he scored a cracker at this very grounds in the qualifiers the last time South Africa was here. Or on an evening where he got a brace. Really shouts of shoot coming from out in the stands. He didn't quite wrap his foot around it. No worries then. For Zabata. Well, the battle continues in the middle of the park here. There is a man down from a Zambian point of view, but they have kept it moving here. And again, it's Sagala looking for the movement of the ball. Then as they get it going forward, again, they're a little short of numbers inside the box then. So the early ball not advised. The man that was down just a moment ago back up on his feet. Tabaso. Interesting ball over the top to that far side, beautifully done. The Zambians then quickly working it into that final third, and in the end the ball is extremely well protected, then it should be said, by Musonda in winning the set piece. Keeping it away from Gabini here, waiting for that touch. Set piece in a good area here. Yet to see the Zambians really test Ronwen Williams in this encounter. Chance to get the big man forward, standing over it here is Zampande. Keep in mind they qualified in a group that had Cote d'Ivoire, Sierra Leone and Chad in it. And the Zambians and Zabata, well, the time being is struggling here, so the game will be held up. Finished top of their group with just the one loss and one draw, the Zambians. So I'll be hoping the situation with Zabata is not all too serious, that he should be able to continue. Meanwhile, Porter and friends are livening things up from out in the stands here as they start to get going. Should expect the numbers to swell just a bit more as we move in towards the half-time period here in Kabeja. He'll enjoy this moment, the young man. Getting more than his fair share in his time in the spotlight. And of course, you can expect there to be a good representation from a Zambian point of view in the way of their supporters over the years in what we've grown used to in the COSAFA Cup as we look back to the shot and where the problem could have been for Zabata. Was it his landing here? Doesn't look as though anything is wrong. But I was just saying that they've always had good supporters coming through for the nearly COSAFA competitions in the ladies' game and in the men's game, the Zambians. Always the competition between those of Zimbabweans, Malawians, Zambians, and those from Lesotho and South Africa on who the liveliest crowds are in the COSAFA Cups. Now, back to the action here. Approaching 20 minutes in this encounter. Bande looking to create the best moments for Zambia going forward. Big men push forward. The early ball into the near post is well protected. And the South Africans now looking to hit on the counter. Apollos, nice little drop on the shoulder. Couple of men on him. They have been solid so far. Defensively have the Zambians, and the same can be said from a South African point of view. So no the scoreline out in Kabeka. OJ.
CBC. Mokapteni was Topasa. The Buccaneers. Obedi Jobone. Batwa KwaZulu Natal. Ebile kiba kapteni kwa no Pirates. Fa CBC asiyo mbegezeli mbogazi ke Natal bantala bakapteni. Teboho. Wetsamegala Chalo Motsileng yakankosinati. Kabare Motabele Ketsu na mokapteni muna yo wankosinati CBC. Nele mokapteni kwa stopensa kwa Samaloba Salamonville Golden Arrows. Laba itaware Motabele Khilwe khore ne mokapteni muna yo wa CBC. Arbone khile ba tsamegela mo de Master Chef. Fela ga tshwara sente ba tsamaya tsamegela mo tseleng ya toaster. Aba tsibuga ka bonna ko toaster Sabata. Aba sireletsa Chalo Khilea. Arbone Chalo Fashion Junior. Orobela Khilea mo tseleng ya Kalusa. Wa albela Kalusa. Aba koba khile tana kotsi. Tlhatlola moiso kwa morago Afrika Borwa. Baba tlhatlola moiso Afrika Borwa Khilea. Batima mollo. Baba tima mollo kwa morago mona mananyo Jobe. Pepelo Stobe. Stole. Ne Tasela. Ene Tasela Zambia. Fela ba khona go sireletsa mo kgweleng ya Afrika Borwa na tsene ka kgweleo. Kawana la Patson Daka. Dira tiro kwa lekenya manyesemane kwa Engelane. Kwa Stopensa Leicester City. Likawana lela Patson Daka. CBC. Mbegezeli Mbogazi. Arumela khwele mo tselenga. A bone ba tla the Master Chef. Jaga Serete. Tsamekela mo tseleng ya ga Oswin. Ke bona kotsi ke bona mathomola. Ke tsa penefa. Sireletsa kwa morago. Ade baleka go ba thuba kwa morago Afrika Borwa baleka go ba phetla. Fela khileo ya besa khoroge kwa Mane ba batla go ne Oswin Police ona batla Chalo le kawana le Lyle Foster. Yole na dira khile kwa manyesemane the Master Chef. Aba motsetse khileo. Ya go tlosa le tatlhelo. Dira tiro kwa Stopping sa ka Engelane sa Penley. CBC. Baleka go tsa taolo ya motshameko Afrika Borwa. Baleka go tsa Chalo taolo ya motshameko Afrika Borwa. Rumela khilete le wela motseleng ya ga Sailor May. Aba ba motselenga ya ga Tshepang. Mrembola. Arbone Chalo yo mo fashioning ga jana mona yo wa Tshepa Moremi. No Sadino Bekele Beke kwa Orlando Pirates. Kabini. Oswin. Spefelo. Sireletsa kwa morago wela motseleng ya ga Fashion Junior Sakala. Moterganye ona le gaufi. Are poso ke alona Afrika Borwa. Khala tsinga loto sente mo go Kevin Kalusa. Mare khwele ya go tlhomiwa phoso ya ga go Teboho tshwele ditseloto go ntse fela jalo Teboho Serganye le gale o na le gaufi a le mogaseo Fashion Tsigaloto kwa morago Zambia ke na gangwe ya kileng ya tlisa batshameki ba memo ka godimo mo Afrika Borwa seo sone o tshwanetse go dula o se itse ga jana motshwaradino wa bakatisi wa batshwaradino kwa setlhopheng sa Mamelodi Sundowns Kennedy Moene gopola bo Christopher Katongo wa Jomo Cosmos le ene motlatsa mokatisi Perry Mutapa ba setlhopheng sa Orlando Pirates ke bangwe ba batshameki mme bone ba bantsi simolola jalo ke Toaster kwa morago Khiliao aba sa ene pa Toaster ya go tloswa le tatlhelo ya ga Seila ya go tloswa le tatlhelo ya ga Seila Khiliao tshamekela mo tseleng ya ga ba romela jalo mo tseleng ya ga Samkela Kapini Arbona Oswina Police aba romela khilete le kofele arbona Tshepa aba ibola lo sola pestel o itsamekela mo go Seila men ata kopa nomoro ya jersey bo go nna fela ja aba bo kopa nomoro Mrembola Oswin arbona kora kwatsi oh Lal Foster habarulela ka Khiliao bane ba le ka go ya ga bona Oswina Police na bele mo tseleng ya ga Tshepanga taka yengwe gape a yaga fela ke ba re technique matlhale le mokgwara ke leng khwele ka yone Lal Foster ga o solfeletse mo motshamekeng wa selebo sa gagwe maemo a gagwe ga o solofele gore motho a ka raga kgwele jalo ba re le dikgoka Afrika Borwa wena Sithole o ne o le dikgoka a e tlhomiwe kgwele ba go simolola kwa morago Zambia mo tseleng ya ga Penson Sakala tota ke le ka bona la Chongo Kapaso yo bila se tsamogetse karate e sorolwana tshamekela mo go Toastan Sabat Oswi Strut Kabini khona go lemoga batshameka morago ba Afrika Borwa ke batshameki ba kgonang go tshwara kgwele go neeletsana kgwele ga ise batshameka morago ba tsang kgwele ka gale ba e tshameka ba e regela kwa pele ba e neeletsana khona go lemoga gore ba na le botsalano le kgwele gambo le motshwaradino Ronald Williams Montlelene mo maotong Sibis Seila man the master chef Mrembula ba di ba mo go Lyle Foster wa di senya ba isa gape kwa go ene Lyle a re bone kgile ba itsa ba romela kwa thoko mo tseleng ya ga Oswin ba ba mmetsa ka Melody simolola go tsa taolo ya motshameko jaanong Bafana Seila man Tshefanga Mrembula ba thula ba iatlarela Toastan Sabat ba le ka go ya ga ba le ka go bua le yone ba le ka go isabela Afrika Borwa fela ba tlhoka lesego la go e ba mo letloeng. Chongo kopa kopetsana tshalo le Lyle Foster. Khona go lemoga Lyle Foster o na dirisa tshalo bokete jwa mmele. Na dirisa tshalo bokete jwa mmele fela motsereganyo wa Khalema khileo ya go tlhomiwa kwa morago ke setlhopha sa Africa Boxer jaaka mona Perry Mutapa Rebela khilete le kwa pele thula ka tlhogo ya go rotloga ka Africa borwa kwa morago khileo ka sebese a ba tlogela ka botlhale tsela ka kwantle o thwetso re bala sebaka sa metsotso kana le 15 gore karolo ya ntlha motshameko ya go ikhutsa mentse le lefela Bafana ile lefela Chipolopolo.
Well, if you're just joining us, so Jay, or for those just joining us, maybe I should say, very little separating these two sides yet in the way of clear-cut chances. Neither really able to break down each other's defense to completely expose them. Galusa, the man fouled here in the battle between he and Mugwena. No one could argue. Galusa could be viewed as the man who committed the foul. Half an hour's play gone by here. Neither goalkeeper really tested as yet, as the Zambians look to change that. Need a bit of quality, however, in the ball played forward for the movement. Once again, over the youngster Kevin Galusa. Well, they would have gone into what was a disappointing showing in the World Cup qualifiers with the hope of doing well against the likes of Eritrea, Congo, Tanzania and Niger, along with Morocco. The Zambians, in the end, they ended fourth in the group, having picked up just 9 points. To show you how hard that group was for them, they picked up 9 points. The group winners, Morocco, at 24. Now, shot from range. Best moment of the match so far. And Zabata keeps it clear. Now, Mutau. Mugwena. Sotole. Nice passing, nice movement here from the South Africans as they knocking on the door. Mutau, patient for the time being. Heavy touch from Mugwena. We'll see that go out for a goal kick. And so far, the man from plays the club football with Skukune United, coming up with a rather impressive save then when he got his body behind the ball quite nicely. Now, the Paul, the intimacy, having no problems in keeping things together nice and tight defensively here for Bafana. There's Mugwena. Williams. Bogazi. Well, the point OJ was making just a moment ago, South Africa, even in that back four, players that are very comfortable with the ball at their feet. That said, the goalkeeper is the one who's also very comfortable with the ball at his feet, so able to play it out here from defense. And here they are, going over the halfway line. Good movement. Could be a chance here still. Remy. Apollos. Immediately, 1 or 2 on him. He's done well to keep it alive and keep it moving. Faster knees movement. Good movement. After that far side, Gabini with the digging ball. And Otahu arriving on this near side. Just couldn't keep it alive. Impressive from a South African point of view when you consider both the left and right backs were involved in the final bits of that attack. Out to the far side, the movement from Gabini on the near side, hoping to apply the final touches to that attack. Kwazmudau. They remain stubborn defensively to the Zambians in trying to keep the South Africans at bay. Mentioned in that qualifying campaign, defense was the biggest problem. So they conceded 10, having scored 10 goals themselves. So for every goal they scored, they conceded, which was a huge challenge for them in the World Cup qualifiers. So far, defensively, for the most part, they should be pleased with the efforts they've seen from the likes of Kabazo, as well as Sakala, including Bande and Chisala. Patiently they wait. Some hoping it's their flag that may be flying highest come the 45th minute. Thought I saw Dr. Kumalo out in the VIP area there for just a moment. And yeah, as you'd expect, there are still some that are making their way into the venue at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. They'll be happy the scoreline is still at 0-0, but maybe a little disappointed to have missed out on a quality bit of 35 minutes of football if you are just joining us, where both sides are showing quality, both are resilient and proving tough to break down, making for interesting watching here. Chaiwa, the man who plays his club football out in Scotland for Hyperion, is able to continue. The future of Zambian football in your picture. He's still 21 years of age, the man in your picture. That's how he would have hurt himself then at full stretch in trying to deal with the movement of Mbuli. Now, and as far as the African continent is concerned, Zabata here plays for Skukuna United, one of the many international goalkeepers now on the continent, a good number. It's safe to say they ply their trade in the Betway Premiership, that also represent their national teams. Now, one back in a good area here. Foster with some good movement here on this near side. But Emi, three getting into the box, space it in, then looking for Foster to attack that near post. It's well washed defensively from the Zambians. Mugwena, space to turn here, and to wind one up from range. Out of the mark, no worries for Zabata. Well, he's penned in some stunning goals during the course of the season as Moreni really has had a great scoring touch in his time out at Orlando Pirates, scoring plenty of goals, also quality goals, which is something he was looking for on that occasion. But a player high on confidence, of course, and who's forced his way into the reckoning just about in time here, and as far as the upcoming Africa Cup of Nations. Gabaso plays for Zesco, one of two players in that back four for the Zambians. They play their club football for Zesco United. He, as well as Bandit, although Gabaso, now 33 years of age, is amongst the experienced, in fact the most experienced in the back four. Yep, there's the contact between the two as Moremi followed through after taking the shots, making contact with the defender's ankle on that occasion. Well, both these nations, of course, have done Southern Africa proud in the way of being the sole winners of, well, both winners, I should say, of an Africa Cup of Nations. Now, the Zambians with what looks a lovely ball over to this near side here towards Sagala. Lovely vision as well. And on to offload here and find a teammate. Now it's the South Africans' turn to get numbers behind the ball and make life difficult for Zambia to try and play through. Clever from Chisala. He plays his club football for Al Maraik. The 26-year-old, he protects it while he is waiting for that contact. And on the third occasion, he decides the best thing to do is to go down. So, still awaiting the opening goal of the afternoon here in Gqeberha. A couple of players getting a talking to from the referee, but it's the Zambians that have the set piece. Approaching the last 5 of this first half. They'll take the corner. In all honesty, it should be said then the ball in from Fashion Sagala maybe lacked in quality. More than happy to take the corner, keep South Africa on the back foot. Better this time around from the Zambians. Williams came for it. The defenders didn't heed the call. In the end, it ended with the South African throwing out on the far side. There are 2 players playing in all parts of the world here. Some in South Africa, some, of course, home-based in the starting 11. One in the Czech Republic, one in Almerich, one in Germany, one in Scotland, including the Saudi Pro League, England as well. Nicely done by Amorim in finding time and space away from 3 players. So, here it's by Amorim. Owen. Sitole. Well, they're moving around quite nicely as they look for the opening on the near post in the end. 2 men doing a solid job defensively of protecting Zabata. Good in. Tabisi. Well, 5 minutes remaining. And there's the first half. Very little separating the Zambians from the home side. Yes, South Africa is a Protestant company. Keep on knocking for the time being. Just can't get in. OJ.
Metsotso metlhano ya bofelofelo karolo ya ntlha ya motshameko re tla bona jalo le le thubega ga re bone jalo Sweden Police ga ba goga fela ba ba sireletsa ko morago ba potse fela e kopana jalo Oswin ke bona kotsifa ga re bone Oswin e ba mo tseleng ya ga line latlhegetswe ke go bala makgetlo a dikgwele di le ntse le